Yeah, that's what it is. Hey, my name is Rod, and I'm from Canada. I spent most of my adult life in Vancouver, and I moved to Panama in 2010. And I moved with an online business, and that was my specialty for many years. Online marketing, SEO strategies, and stuff like that. And I came here semi-retired with a full-time income, and lots of reasons like weather, taxation, all that stuff. So every time I mute everyone, I have to unmute a few people. But anyways, so I was here for about 3 months, and I did it the wrong way. I knew nothing about Panama. I knew nobody here. I packed up everything I owned and one-way ticket, moved to Panama, and I got in trouble. And there was those of you that come on our tour, I always tell my story because it is quite intense. But I got into some trouble. And about 3 months into the tour, 3 months into my life here in Panama, I was ready to go home. I was about to lose $25,000. And I went around this little town I just moved to, Boquete, and I went to all the tour companies and I asked, I need some help. I need a facilitator. I need a guide. I need someone that can help me straighten out a mess I'm in, help me get settled here, all this stuff. And most of the places just grabbed the business card and they wrote a name on the back. And fine. So I got home. I looked, okay, I gotta find some help. So I looked at these cards and they all had the same name, Oscar Pena, Oscar Pena, Oscar, who is this guy? So I look him up online and okay, fine. Anyways, that's the story how Oscar and I met. Oscar had already been here for several years in helping expats. So we have a long history of any tour company that operates in this country. We have the longest history here of helping expats move to Panama. This is what we've done for many, many years. We're good at it. We have a good time doing it. And yeah, so we spent a few years in the local tourism business. We spent a few years in the private tourism business. I still had a business on my own back in the States that I was running, so I was only part-time with Oscar. And in 2017, we ramped things up. We decided to do the group tour thing that we do now, but we do a smaller group tour, do 8 to 12 people at a time. And we show them Panama, we help them relocate here. If they decide to relocate here, we protect them from dangers that you find in Panama, whether it be bad lawyers or bad real estate agents or bad, I don't want to throw like just bad experiences like I had when I first came here. So that's what we do. That's who I am. And happy to meet you all tonight. And I'm not sure what the noise is, but I will get with it. Thank you. I ask you guys again to, if you don't unmute yourself unless I'll have to force mute everybody that I don't like to do. Don't unmute yourself unless you have a nice quiet background. Until we get to the question and answer period in about 10 minutes here. So Oscar, it is your turn. I normally don't take that long, sorry.
All right, well, my name is Oscar Peña. I'm originally from Cali, Colombia. I got to Panama in 2009. Before that, I was living in Costa Rica between 2006 and 2009. I studied tourism and hotel management in Colombia, so I had a background in tourism. I got a lot of experience working in the hotel industry in Costa Rica, and I got to learn all about the hospitality industry and also restaurants. So that's how it started. Also, I got to learn my second language just by talking to people and watching movies. So I got here from 2009 and I started working. I created this company, it was called Mucho Gusto Panama. This company was created in 2010.
Okay, I might have to carry on.
Planning to come to Panama. People that were struggling to basic things like how to get the bills, the cable, internet, or get to find a decent lawyer or insurance person, because I already have started to know these reliable experts. Then I got to meet Rod, and then we just created a beautiful synergy, working together, then build up what we have today, a brotherhood. Like we're family, we're brothers, literally. And then I've been working in this type of service as a guide since 2011. This country has so much beautiful to show, and just I'm very proud to transmit the experience, the culture, because one of our goals here in Panama is not just show the area, the places, but also to explain how things are done here in Panama. It's different the perspective from a foreigner from North America or Europe, versus one of the advantage that I felt that I had is being Colombian. And also we still have some sharing culture aspects between Colombians and Panamanians. I feel like I could be the bridge connecting both of them. So this is how I started, and it's I've been pretty proud. It's been working out, and since we have also been working in small luxury hotels, hospitality. So I just love the model of small groups. We love to provide as personal and customized as possible any single service on the way that we do. And that's why we decided to just go 8 to 12 people. So yeah, very happy, very proud that what we have accomplished today, and super excited to in the near future, to see lots of you here. Right now, my other star, she's not here right now, but she'll be in the next Q&A. Her name is Megan, and she is the director of operations. But probably you'll find out about her in our website. Or Russ, should we talk about her?
Well, of course, Megan is the other part of our team. She came along about 3 years ago. Quick bio on Megan. Yeah. She's from Philadelphia, and she came to Panama with the Peace Corps. So she is an integral part of our team about the culture of the Panamanians. She lived with them for several years, learned the language, and became fluent in Panama Spanish, which is quite something, actually, like quite different.
Yeah, and they want.
And yeah, she helps run the tours. She's with Oscar on the tours. She helps the coordination and get everyone organized once they have booked their tours, and she can't be with us tonight, but she will be on the tour for you guys that are starting in 2 days. And yeah, so it's basically you get Oscar, Megan, and me. I joined you guys on the tour in the second half. And then when the tour is over, you get the 3 of us until you move here. You get our personal cell phone numbers, our personal emails, and we live in Panama. When you phone us, we're in Panama, and that's unusual for the tour companies that operate in Panama. So anyways, that's who we are. I'll get Oscar, and Oscar and I wanted to do a Q&A kind of with a special theme. And our theme is get to Panama. And I want to explain that. It's been 2 years, guys, like almost 2 years. We're coming up 2 years in about 2 months here with this COVID thing. And there's been a lot of reasons not to travel. There's people, especially people with health concerns or health situations and stuff like that. But things really in the last few months, I think, are finally changing. Like we've seen both, Panama and the US, maybe not so much Canada, sorry guys, but we've seen them not do lockdowns anymore, realize that's not the answer to what we're going through here. And we're not seeing the hospitalizations based on the cases. So and even if something happened, the 14-day quarantine has gone down to 5 in most places. So it's really not a high risk coming to Panama anymore. So, or even traveling as a whole. That's what we're finding. It's getting a little crazy. I'm going to talk to our good friend Mike here, who I'm trying to get to unmute, but my button doesn't work. Okay, there he is. So our company, it's crazy. When Omicron came out, of course, people canceled their tours. They thought, oh my God, there's going to be the whole world's going down in lockdown. But now we're almost full again. And with the number of people that are around town, in our little town of Ocati, which I know a lot of you know about, there's virtually no rental to be done. I've been trying to find a rental for a friend of mine for a week now, and he's very late. Okay, who's doing that? He wants 4 walls and a roof, $4,000. Okay, so it's almost impossible to find him a place. There's no places to rent, and I think I want to talk to Mike here. Mike Petovich owns Inside Panama Real Estate, and his wife owns Inside Panama Property Management. They are probably one of the largest real estate and rentals companies in this country with 6 offices. And they got rentals people and agents in every one of these offices. What are you seeing, Mike? Are you guys busy, or are they slacking off because they don't have any clients? Who's coming right now?
It's busier than it's been in 15 years, literally. People are just coming. I've never seen anything like it, really. So that's precisely why the rentals are tight. A lot of the inventory that's been sitting for a couple of years is now being absorbed. It is being replaced with new properties, of course, but the traffic is very, very busy.
Yeah, like that's got to be because people are seeing this as an endemic, whether the World WHO has declared that or not. They're seeing it, or they're getting so frustrated because they've been waiting on their dreams of coming here in 2 years. They're just all coming there.
They're all coming for a variety of reasons. You know me, I'm pretty diligent about why are you here? What are your objectives? For the most part, you can pretty much categorize it in 2 categories. It's politics or economics. Either they don't like the politics, or they can't afford it, or they can't afford the health care, or they can't afford many things. And they see Panama as an attractive option. Of course, it's one of the easiest places in the world to get a visa, resident visa. So it's a very attractive option, and a lot of people are taking advantage of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So people are coming here, guys, and I don't want anyone to be scared saying that all the inventory has been taken up. Here's the thing you have to remember: we're in high season right now, and Panama missed last year's high season. So we have last year's people here that canceled, and this year's people here. That's why we have no inventory. Starting, people that want to rent starting in April, they're going to have no problem because a lot of that rental stuff comes available. And real estate, we had a year ago, you were sitting on what, 2-year sale rate?
Yep.
Yeah. So
and what you said is correct. Come the end of March.
Yeah.
Things will start to lighten up again on the rentals.
Yeah. It's that old supply and demand thing. We're seeing that all around the world. It's causing havoc. It's causing inflation in the US and other countries and here, and it's just causing the lack of rentals. I don't see a lot of price gouging. I'm still seeing people renting for the same price. So
no, I think in fact that example that you put out there for the $4,000, not to make anybody be afraid that there's high prices, that really isn't necessarily the case. Like Rod said, though there's not a lot of availability right this minute, really there hasn't been price gouging because a lot of the people that are here renting now made reservations 6 months ago or even more.
Yeah.
So the price was already locked in. By the time those folks leave and come around the end of March, they're certainly not going to be raising it because there'll likely be less people here at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's going to, I myself, for example, I moved into a new place in Boquete 30 days ago, and I'm paying less than what I rented for in 2018. So, and I'm seeing a lot of that. So prices aren't out of hand here. Okay, well, thanks. Hey guys, Mike Mitovich, like I say, he's the owner of Inside Panama Real Estate. You will get you can Google it and contact him, Inside Panama Real Estate. But after this call, the email that goes in with the recording, I'll give you his phone number and all that stuff. If you want to type it in the chat there too, Mike. And his email. So if you're looking here and you want to land here, you want to look at, hey, I need a place for 6 months. Once I get there, I want to go shopping for a house. Like, he's the guy. Why? Because he's been here 15 years. he's got the inventory of rentals and real estate. So most people transition that way anyways, unless you just come here and buy something, which I'm not going to tell you to do. But anyways, but he understands what all of you and all of you on this call are expats or want to be expats. He was one too 15 years ago. He understands
Sure.
what you need on the real estate side. He understands what's going to scare the hell out of you here and what you're going to be accustomed to back at home. So anyways, thank you, Mike, for joining us quickly on this call to talk about.
Thank you, Mikey.
Here.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me. And I will do an online introduction for the fellow looking to move his dog.
Yeah, there's one more issue about coming here I want to share with you guys. And it's a very good point. Now you guys should be seeing my screen. And any of you people ever gone on a cruise before? I know we don't do that anymore, but you know, after COVID time, sure, we all thought of cruises. And what did you do when you bought a cruise? You bought trip cancellation insurance because you had to pay for the cruise up front. So many of you traveling here, you have some upfront expenses. Maybe you paid your hotel room on booking.com and 7 days before, you can't get it back. Buy trip cancellation insurance. It is available for COVID and it's available at a very reasonable rate. Now, I did this. This is one of the ones where I have no affiliation with these companies, neither Oscar and I, we don't get paid a commission, nothing. I'm just going to tell you that it's called Hey Mondo. These links will be in the email you get after this call too. This is for United States to Panama, February 17th to 24th for 2 people. The total cost is $151.41. That covers you for $500,000 emergency medical. It covers you for what's it called when they repatriation back home, baggage loss, travel disruption, cancellation, and interruption. So this provides, if let's say you tested COVID to positive for COVID 2 days before your trip, you can actually get your money back for whatever your prepaid expenses were. Trip interruption. What happens if you tested positive for COVID when you were here and had to stay 7 extra days? You can get paid a daily amount there. And right in here, this is Hey Mondo. What do we cover? Health reasons. What's covered, what not? Can I cancel my trip due to coronavirus? Yes, you can for your non-refundable expenses. If you can cancel your trip because you or your travel companion test positive or a close relative develops an unexpected emergency. So it covers you for lots of stuff. First degree relatives, if they end up in a hospital or die, stuff like that, you can cancel your trip. So you can be insured for coming here is what I'm trying to say. There's another one you can check out. They're called safetywing.com. They're very popular. And I'm just trying to get to my other screen. All these links, again, are going to go out in tomorrow's morning's email with the recap. Now, there's one more type of insurance. It's called CFAR. I don't know why it's not that popular in the US, but CFAR insurance is cancel for any reason insurance. Yeah, this is things like my dog got sick. Now I have 2 dogs. If my dog was really, really sick, I would cancel a trip. But with the other insurance, that's not on their list. The dog's getting sick. Or great Aunt Bertha passed away and you feel you should go across the country to her funeral because you might be in her will. Well, then you can cancel for any reason. This stuff is a little more expensive, but Forbes about 3 weeks ago put this list out of some of the best companies you can buy this insurance. You're looking at paying around $250 for let's say a $7,000 trip. And basically, the reasons they list are crazy. Your daughter elopes or invites you to a last minute wedding, like cancel for any reason. And so there are ways you can get insurance and to protect, if you want to come. And Oscar and I want to do one thing for you guys on this call. As soon as we do this, we're getting into the Q&As, okay? So type, if you're bored with me already, type your questions in the chat right now. On our own tours, we have very few spots left. We can take a couple or single in February, March, April, May, and a single only in June. That's it. Do 4 or 5, like 10 people out of the 72 spots there. Now, any of you who book these in the next 48 hours from now, we will pay your cancellation insurance up to $75. We'll basically pay this one. Most people don't need the health insurance because they have international health insurance on their rider. So you can just buy the one person covers the cancellation insurance. Make sure that cancellation insurance is in your name. One thing to remember when buying trip cancellation insurance, you only buy it after you paid your last invoice for your trip. Like you can't buy it before, because then you could keep adding on. That would be unfair for the company. This is okay. My trip was $3,800, like one of our tours for our company. When you pay that last invoice, you have 7 days to buy your cancellation insurance. And what we will do for the people who take one of those last 5 spots we have, if you purchase in the next 48 hours, we will deduct $75 off of your last invoice. Then that can go towards paying your cancellation insurance.
And that will also ensure, give you some tranquility about the trip coming here, and they also relax if God forbid something happens, your money is safe.
Yeah, the only reason these two companies, now we only had it happen once in our country, in our company, that someone had to use this. But, and you can expect a 30 to, and he's right at the top of our call right there. Last August, Daniel tested positive a week before the tour. And, you know, and we advised them to buy this. It took 60 days or something to get your refund. And that's par for the course. You're going to wait 60 days for it. And I'm talking to several other people. They're the only ones we know with our company. But I've done the research and reached out to many people that I've seen on forums and other companies that, but these two, A-Moto and Safety Wing Pay. That's as simple as that. Okay, so we are going to get to the Q&A portion of the call, guys. Again, all these links will be in the email tomorrow, since you don't need them today, unless if you're coming to Panama on your own and have a bunch of prepaid hotels and tours that you've already booked, you know the chances are you're not going to get that money back. So go pay $75 and get yourself covered, because you never know. And the other thing I want to point out too, if you're coming to Panama, really take a close look at Copa Airlines. They fly out of 10 major cities. Even if you have to use another alternative airline to get there, they're not having the challenges United and American and Delta are, because we don't have as many the cases per population that you guys are having in the States, and all Copa staff are Panamanian. So they're not having the cancellations. They've been running pretty well on time without cancellations. So if you're coming to Panama, that's a great option for you. Flights out of everywhere from California, Florida, New York, Denver. Okay. Alrighty, if anyone wants to answer a question, there's 2 ways to answer a question. You can unmute yourself and you can answer the question. If you're calling in on a phone, you can hit *6 and answer the question, or I'm going to start reading from the chat. Who's going to ask the first question? Because I'm reading down the chat. And someone...
Who's first? Let's break the ice. We have some questions already in the chat for you. I cannot see from this.
I'm going to that right now. But I heard somebody start.
Yeah, hello?
Hello.
Hey, this is Peter from Atlanta.
Hey, Peter.
So, hey, how much would it cost me to ship my cars moving to Panama?
Oscar, take that one away.
Shipping your cars. What kind of cars do you want to ship to Panama?
Well, I have a F-150, and I have a Range Rover I want to ship down there.
Okay. Well, it is possible to ship. Right now, prices, it might be different because you have to pay a tax, importation tax, and also the C-frame the transportation that goes from ever Florida. I don't remember the port. But one of the things that we suggest is those models, those vehicles that you have currently, you can find them here in Panama. Now, a lot of the models that are sold in North America, they have different types of sensors because they mean the emission system. So you might have some troubles with those vehicles here in Panama. That's just my advice. Sometimes what is easier is to sell your car back home, and you can get those same vehicles here in Panama with the standards that is for this type of gasoline we have here. The gasoline here is different than the one in the United States. So you might have to get some challenges with the fuel sensors. But that one, a precise number, we can give you more details about that. But it roughly depends on the year. The car could be around 3,500 per vehicle, more or less. And then the tax, that's just the shipping. Tax will be separately.
Yeah. Yeah, your tax, I'll speak on the tax, will be between 22 and 29% of the assessed value of the car, and you have no say in that value.
I see. I'm currently a car dealer here in Atlanta, and I was when I relocate down there, I was thinking about doing an import business, bringing some cars down there. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. So.
Well, you heard the price of the import duties, 22 to 29%. That's not duties. There's a 7% like a VAT tax too.
Gotcha. And he mentioned earlier that it was emissions. Do y'all have emissions there?
Well, we don't have catalytic converters, and we don't have side airbags. We don't have a lot of the things U.S. cars have. So when you have a problem with it here, there's no one here to fix it.
Got it.
Yeah, there is.
I'm sorry. Now, if I want to bring my pet to Panama, for example, what's the process of bringing your pet or animal with you?
Yeah, there's about a $5,000 duty per pet. No, I'm kidding. Just joking.
Oh God. So you have to stay here then.
We are also the pet experts. We do pet relocations on a weekly basis. So bringing a pet, how large is your pet?
She's a Labrador Retriever.
How many pounds?
45 pounds. She's still a baby.
You're looking at about $600 for the airline, $600 to $800.
Okay.
Looking at about $150 here once you arrive. And there's a whole process you got to go through. Bringing your pets to Panama is a great article we have on our blog. Please feel free to retireInPanama.com and just type in pets, and it shows you the whole procedure, or we can help you with that procedure. We also, if you're at the beginning of the call, we do transport. There's no way, if you're not going to Panama City, if you're going somewhere else in the country, you don't want to put your pet on another domestic flight the next day. It's very cost prohibitive. So we do transport across the country with pet-friendly drivers and pet-friendly vehicles. Yeah. Yeah, normally the Labrador Retriever will be sitting on Oscar's lap all the way home if he's driving. But yeah, it's not the biggest expense is for the larger dogs for the cargo fees. And I highly recommend, like I do this every week, this is not a lie, so I've done it 50 times I highly recommend Copa Airlines. They are the best with this.
All right, so I'm retired. So I was stationed down there probably about 15 years ago when we were the last unit to leave the Panama Canal. And what areas would be the cheapest and the best area to live in Panama right now? I mean, I was stationed at Fort Clayton. I don't know if that area is expensive now or is it reasonable?
Well, depending if you're looking for the city or the mountains or the beach.
Beach, definitely.
What's the best area of the beach, Oscar?
Well, it depends how much lifestyle, what kind of lifestyle you want to have.
Well, I'm single.
Well, so you want party?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So if you want party, one of the best places for social and activities will be Coronado. Coronado will be one of the best areas, yeah. But also another area that is more tranquilo, and more in getting involved with the locals and it's still very fun spot will be Tennessee.
Okay, okay.
But there's something different than telling you versus your experience. That's why one of the best way to get a better feeling of some of the best areas for you to relocate is coming in one adventures with us. So you
I
can see
will
the
be
feeling,
doing,
then give it a try.
I will be doing that very shortly.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Peter. Anyone else want to step up and ask the question?
Hi, my name is Alicia. I've officially changed it from Alice.
Hello, Alicia.
When I took French, it was Elise.
Okay.
But my husband and I are due in Panama City on the 22nd of February. We have our temporary visas in place. We are looking, and I understand that Oscar could possibly help us. We're looking to get a mid-sized SUV. And any help with driver's license would be greatly appreciated.
Well, I'm just, you
One
know,
of the services we offer, or I gotta find out who's over talking here. It's one of the services we
Yes.
offer, apart from our tours, is car service. In fact, Oscar is in Panama City today doing just that. Oscar, tell them what you do there.
Well, I just got 2 cars for 2 clients today, 2 at the same time. Was a little challenging, but I made it possible. So yes, I do provide this type of service according to what is your budget, what is your preference of vehicles. What I always like to make sure is the expectations of the type of vehicles here versus the vehicles you used to have back where you're from. Because a lot of vehicles here you won't find, it's just sometimes different. Like sometimes people will say, oh, I want a Hilux. But the Hilux in the United States is what here is the Tacoma. And the Hilux in Panama and Latin America is a whole different version of pickup truck. So those kind of things that I will like work with you in the process of finding the vehicle you want. Sometimes if there is a vehicle at a brand, what I will do is do the checkup and make sure my advice is, okay, you can get this vehicle, but it's gonna be complicated for maintenance. Or when we narrow the vehicle you want, I do check out the vehicle, make sure all the body, the suspension, paperwork, it is on rule. Because a lot of times, a lot of sellers, they will put the photos of the vehicle and will put some information, but that doesn't mean that's the real information or the current photos. So that's why I double check. Like yesterday, we were looking for some pickup trucks for one of our clients. Well, 4 of them, or 3 of them, they were in major accidents. The seller didn't tell me. I just found out by literally getting on the ground and under the car to start looking for those glitches. So that's my expertise. I used to work. In my family business with my mom and my dad. Used to have a mechanic garage. So I worked in the industry for several years before I moved out to Colombia. So I used to work suspension. So that's my background. That's why I learned a little bit. And also I can test the vehicle. I can drive the car 2 blocks. I can tell you, okay, this is wrong, or it's all good. But if you can give us an email once you're close to the time frame, and then we can work with that. We can start working.
Okay. Great. We are looking for a mid-size SUV. We've driven mid-size SUVs in Panama twice already. So
Yeah.
we've driven the Toyota.
The
I don't
RAV4?
recall what it was called, but it was up off of the oh gosh, my husband knows the cars. It was a really nice, all I can tell you was a Toyota, and it was an upgrade from what we have in the States. It was a little bit beefier.
Okay.
And that worked well, but we've always had SUVs and trucks and crossovers, so we're used to a little bit more of a car.
Okay.
Cool.
So you want me to email you on this?
Yes, please. So we have
Elisa, I just popped into the chat the email address for people interested in car purchases. And don't forget, what we also look after is, this is a different country. If you guys think that DMV is unorganized in the States, you should try it here in Panama. So Oscar gets make sure you have title in hand, proper insurance, the insurance that you actually need, not what they want to sell you or not what you shouldn't get. And
Mhm.
all that stuff is done within a service. So just pop open the chat. You'll see my last question there. It's info@panamaexpatservice.com. Just the email address.
Okay, great,
Okay. And we love-
great. And do you offer assistance with getting a driver's license?
Yes, we can do that too. Just email.
Okay,
That same email site. We offer you guys, apart from our tours, we have another company called Panama Expat Service. Really easy to remember. And we offer all the a la carte type services there. We can help you get a driver's license, open a bank account, give you, or just general information. And a lot of the stuff on there is free information. We just,
And let's work, we're jack for all the trades.
yes. Mhm.
okay,
Yeah.
great.
I'm gonna-
Thank you so very much.
I'm
I
gonna-
appreciate that.
welcome, Alicia.
Yeah.
Hola,
Hi.
entonces.
This is Scott and Drew in Sarasota, Florida.
Yeah.
We put a question on and noticed somebody else put a question on the chat about getting access to opioids, especially oxycodone. We noticed online it might be difficult. So can you help us with that question?
It's very difficult. So if you need that stuff, you need to get down here first. You need to get referrals to a doctor's here. There's a couple of pain doctors in Debbie. There's many more in Panama City. They're going to assess you, analyze you, and before you decide to make the move here, so you're going to be making some exploratory trips here with enough of the prescription with, bring down enough that you need. So yeah, it's really, well, it's difficult, it's challenging, but you have to, I know people that have done it and that receive their medication here or that can buy their medication here. But
Okay, so we need
you're
to
not gonna
come
go to
down.
a GP and get a prescription for it.
So David is not far from Boquete, right?
Yeah, 25 minutes.
Okay, so that's where we would look for a doctor who could help us, and we could ask you to help us find the doctor who might provide that service.
Yeah, like you, I would start with the doctors in Boquete, go get a checkup, tell them what you do, show them what you're on, and they give you the referral to the hospital in David. You go see the specialist, that whole procedure. So make sure you
Okay.
don't come here without your medication. So I've had that happen. People come down here and they didn't bring it up. And well, it's not gonna happen. It's gonna be a 30, 60-day thing before you actually get a prescription here for an opioid.
Okay, and we have a history of it, so we can prove that it's necessary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
We know about that.
All right.
Hi, this is Christina. Can I ask a question?
You may, Dina.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I usually travel abroad and I spend a month and I do like a language course. So I speak Spanish and but I want to try Panama before moving to Panama. So I was wondering what would be something similar to my culture because I'm from Brazil. So I wanted a city that is maybe at the beach, but that I could experience staying in Panama at with a Panamanian family, for example, to start with, to experiment the culture, and then maybe have some classes of Spanish, maybe intermediate, advanced Spanish, and this way start to understand more of the culture before going into trips to know what kind of a of housing and all that. So I wanted to do this. I've done this in several countries. I've lived in Italy and Spain, and I want to live in Panama, but I want to experience Panama first. I want to be in a Panamanian family, living with them, and absorbing the culture before I can move in. Is that something that you guys help as well? Do you have companies there that do this kind of thing that I could connect with?
That kind of like to connect you with is first of all, probably we need to know like which area you probably like the best, because there is several areas with communities. I personally don't have like a family that do this kind of exchange, but that doesn't mean that it's not possible. It's very possible. I mean, a lot of volunteers will come here, but that's pretty much in my experience is a little bit in the gray zone. You can like come to a place, you get to meet with people, and you get pretty much to getting your networking in the area. Because there is a lot of now, especially with this situation going on, a lot of people still a little bit like, and with the fear. But it is my advice is to first look at which area you feel more comfortable, because I can tell you, like the sea might be when you can have that experience. Could be San Carlos, could be the Palmar, which is on the Pacific coast, and there is very interaction with a lot of locals. They're very open, they're very sweet people. But it's hard to tell you for you to show you like I have this family for you. There is something that we can arrange, but I think it's the best way for you to do it is to come to Panama first, get to see which area you feel more into that, because it also has to be, in my opinion, something that you feel comfortable with connectivity, if you the location, if you need to go quick to Panama City, back and forth, stuff like that. So we can work in on that. Rod, what do you think about that?
I think, Christina, maybe you need an exploratory trip here for a few weeks. And like Oscar said, look around at those communities. Like the small, tiny communities, I don't know if you'll find that. In the cities like David, if you want a small city, you might find like places that you can rent a room for $100 and live with the family or something like that.
Yeah, I'm more interested in bigger centers. I'm a Zumba instructor, so I'm currently like I'm always on the go. I love parties. So for me, it would be really a big center. I don't want to go to Panama City. I really like the beach. That's where I grew up. So if I retire and I go to a place where I'm going to live, that is not going to be Brazil, I want to be at the beach as much as possible. And I think everybody dreams about that, especially in Canada right now. That
There are no big
temperatures are
cities on the
like
beach in Panama. Yeah, we don't have any cities on the beach in Panama at all. Even Panama City.
Only Panama City.
The beach.
Okay.
So, but the other ones are more kind of expat communities along the beaches, like some expats. There's small communities on the beach. There's lots of those.
Yeah.
Right.
Very,
But there are more expats living in these communities, or you're talking about Panamanians living in the community?
well, I'm trying to like, there's big communities like Coronado that have a lot of expats, but it looks like you don't really want that.
Yeah, but also like in Coronado, like Coronado is more about expats and Panamanians, but it should be like wealthy Panamanians. Gorgona, before Coronado, next to Coronado, has more of the mix between foreigners and locals. The other town is on the beach or close to the beach is Pedro.
Yeah.
This one also offers some of that. It's like a small town, but it's not as small like San Carlos or Palmar.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
No
You're very
problem.
welcome.
Okay, who's next?
You got more questions in the chat?
Yeah, I got lots of questions. I'm gonna do a couple in the chat, guys, so hope I don't cut anyone off. A few people were commenting on our beginning topic that I want to talk about, rentals and availability. Number one, never plan to move to Panama between January, February, or March. Okay, it's always tight for rentals. Number two, Panama City is not bad right now. Panama City is actually approximately, a lot of people shocked. I lived there for 2 years. I rented there in 2012, 2013. Prices are about 30% cheaper than they were back then. I was paying in my apartment that I paid $1,200 a month for. It's now renting for $850, the exact same apartment I saw on Facebook the other day. In Boquete, rental prices have been stagnant. So it's a great time to come. Prices, we don't have a huge inflation in rentals and real estate. We had such a glutton. It's still a buyer's market. We had tons of inventory on the market 2 years ago. COVID made a little more. Now it's starting to get gobbled up, which is good. It's got to go somewhere. We got, feel sorry for the sellers, but now they're starting to sell. But, don't worry, the prices are not out of control here because of demand. Demand right now has everything to do with high season and two high seasons. Okay. Insurance, travel agency offers this, so it's not special. Insurance sales agent, I don't know what that is. Kevin? It says travel agency offers this, so it's not special. Okay, I don't know anyone who books with a travel agency anymore, but I'm sure they do offer some type of cancellation insurance. Okay, well, welcome. We usually have, when Oscar and when Megan's here with us, this goes a little smoother.
Yeah, she's the one who could pull the all pieces together. We miss her very much tonight.
Kevin, you're saying here, no housing available and no tour spots till July. I just said we got tour spots. We have 5 spots available between now and July. We got 1 in 30 days if you want it. Or I think it's sold actually. I just heard my phone go off. Any idea when the mask mandate will be lifted? Nope. Who? Okay. Okay, this is Scott, Drew in Sarasota. We have a question about medication. Okay, that's what we asked. The laser real, yeah. Flying back from Panama City, American Airlines, people stay away from it this week. Permanent resident deposit 300,000. There we go. I understand one way is to get permanent residence deposit 300,000 in the bank, but to open a bank account, you need to have residency. I know, Jim, it sounds confusing, but don't worry, it can be done. You're talking about what's called the investor's visa. People refer to it in many different things. But you can get a friendly nations visa that's only $200,000 to deposit in the bank. If you are going through the process, the procedure to get a bank account here is you have to be in the process of residency, not residency. You need a letter from the lawyer saying you're in the process. So I'm working on about half a dozen of these right now, friendly nations visa, that people are either doing 200,000 CDs or 200,000 in real estate. So what happens is you go to the bank and we got there, we can hook you up with the bank. The bank wants your business and not open an account. Then they get a letter from the lawyer saying that you've retained a lawyer to start the residency. Starts the whole process. Then you give any other information that the bank requires, like a bank reference letter, the proof of income, proof of where the money came from, all that stuff you get when you open bank accounts like that. Then your residency starts moving forward. So there's many, if you're really interested, different options on residency and amounts between the 200,000 and the 300,000 one. There's pros and cons of both of those plans. One leads to a work permit, one leads to a residency in 30 days. So it all depends what you're actually looking for. Can't find anyone that's making the noise. That will determine whether or not, let's actually Oscar's microphone here. All depends what you're looking for in residency on which residency to go with. So there's 25 different residency options in Panama. So if you need help navigating with us, send us an email, info@retireinpanamatours.com. Or if you go right to the site, Retire in Panama Tours, and click on immigration, and there's a little more detail you can fill out to give us some information on what you need so we can connect you to the right people. Are our vehicles European made? No, the vehicles here. I had to mute you, Oscar, because for some reason, Oscar, can you unmute?
I was on mute, sorry.
Yeah, I muted you because your mic or something was making noise. It sounded like you were, yeah, like popping a champagne cork or something. All right, the question is, are your vehicles European made? Which vehicles are available in Panama, Oscar?
Brands, we have the Japanese Toyotas, Hondas, we have Korean, we have Kia, we have Hyundai. Those are the most common. We have Chevy, we have Land Rover, we have Dodge, we have Mercedes, we have BMW, Some of them, the high profile vehicles will be imported with some modifications for the gasoline here in Latin America. Some other vehicles like Toyota, like especially the Hilux, they are assembled in Argentina. Some of them, they come here, they will assemble either Argentina or Brazil. That goes with the Toyotas mostly. Kias, I'm not sure exactly where they're made of, but that's pretty much, we have a lot of those brands here. What else brands do we have?
Volkswagen?
Volkswagen, yes, we do have Volkswagen. They're pretty popular here, and they have a good reputation, especially the pickup, the Amarok, has a very strong, I think it's V6 diesel engine.
Yeah, you see that.
Yeah, one of the most vehicles like for hard work, like SUVs and pickup trucks, they normally are diesel here, unless it's something more premium, like probably a Toyota Tacoma. Those ones usually are imported, they're US version. So they comes out engine V6. Volkswagen, well, we have different models. We have some of the Taiwan. I think that's the model that comes with the engine V6. We have the Beetles. So we have Volkswagen, a lot of the models here. We have Renault, we have Mazda, we have Peugeot, but Peugeot, that's a French brand, and it's not that well, it's still too new here, so I will not suggest them. They're very pricey. Also, we have Citroen and Audi. But that's also, so we have a good selection of different brands in Panama. Each brand, it will depends what you're looking for. A brand will be the best suit for you. But if you're looking for something that is easy to find parts, easy to more affordable, you will be want to stay in the range of the Kias, the Hyundais, or even some of the Toyotas.
Okay, that's Oscar's knows everything about cars. Now, question is, are you offering relocation service assistance? Is that part of the tours you offer? Do you have to do the tours to get the assistance? Good question. We are Retire in Panama Tours. If you do a tour with us, you pay once and we help you until the day you move. We don't care if it's the month after or 5 years later. You'll never pay again. We're always available to you. Whatever changes, we'll get you here. And if you don't do a tour, that's our company, Panama Expat Service. We can offer you a full service of a la carte services, from everything from making sure you get a reputable lawyer. Do you guys realize that once a week, I either take a phone call or answer an email from someone that sent the retainer to a lawyer in Panama and hasn't heard back from them in months? It happens all the time here. I'm sorry, guys, because they go to Facebook, they get a referral, they love this guy who's not even a lawyer, and they send him money. I just can't believe people take any advice from someone they don't have. Well, I can't say don't know. You guys don't know us, but if you Google us, if you check us out, we live by our reputation. We've been doing this for almost 10 years, guys. So
You can look up. You can also look it up.
$50,000 retainer for a lawyer, like real.
Yeah.
That would be all over the place. And that leads to second. How long have you been offering your services, and where are you based? We are based out of Boquete, Panama. You phone, a lot of people believe we're in Florida because we have a Florida number. Well, that's because majority of North Americans wouldn't phone a Panama number because it would cost them $1 a minute. So we have a Google Voice number that's forwards here. So I've been here 10 years. Oscar's been here 12 years. We live in Boquete, Panama. And we've been doing, Oscar's been doing, helping people, been in tourism, well, since before he got to Panama, so 12 years. And I've been actively helping Oscar full-time for the last 5 years. Okay. Okay, Jim, what is the approximate turnaround time nowadays from start to finish of getting residency? Good question, Jim. Now, depending on what you're getting, pensionado, Friendly Nations, whatever, that turnaround time is between 3 to 6 months. Now, if you're getting one of the investor's visa, it can be as little as 30 days. And the maximum I'm seeing right now is about 5.5 months. And that's through the whole COVID stuff. So it's actually pretty good. We just had somebody sent me their picture of their residency card yesterday. It was 4 months. So they're not backed up. Everything's good. And contact information for us. Yeah, please just send, our main website is Retire in Panama Tour. So you can send it to info, you can send it to Oscar, to Rod at retireinpanamatours.com. There we go. Okay. Oscar, what is the charge for finding a car? Wait, let's see. I don't, just wait, finding a car for finding a, Cindy is, no, the charge was 140. Okay, I'm gonna skip that one for now. I don't know if that's a joke or something. Yeah. How do you get around gringo pricing? I've been here, Oscar can't answer this. Why? Because he doesn't look like a gringo.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been here
Definitely
10 years, guys. I don't know what people are talking about. I see it all the time. I've never been gringo price. Have I been lucky? I don't know. I shop. I learned a bit of Spanish and not how to speak it, but I learned all the words. So I go to the vegetable mart. I know how to ask for zanahoria. I'm not sitting there pointing carrot. No, I know what to ask, and I watch all the time. I'm paying the same price as the Panamanian that was before me. Like they
Yeah.
don't gringo price. What's your
It
comment?
happens. It happens sometimes. The gringo prices can be possible. It's not very common that it happens to any foreigner. And believe me or not, sometimes people. Oh, I mean, if it happened to me probably once or twice, just because I don't look the average local, maybe I don't know. But they try to give me the gringo price once. And I'm just like, dude, just don't. And I just cut it right in the moment. Or if you feel the price is not fair, you just walk away and no problem. But one of the things that can get more of the situation for the gringo price is when you're taking a cab. So if you don't know, if you're in Panama City, always I would suggest ask the price before you get in the taxi, or better off, use Uber in Panama City. So that could be more of that situation. Other than that, when you go to a store, when you go to a grocery store or any other store, they're very standard with the prices. So that in that matter, I don't think that there is the gringo pricing there. Maybe in some services, if you go without any recommendations to a car shop, then maybe they don't have the best ethics. That can happen. But that always, if you can reach to us and say, hey, Oscar, I have this issue, where you suggest me to take my car, or where I can go get this, and we can give you some information. If they don't have the information, we can find it for you, at least to make sure that whatever deal you get is a fair deal. But that's pretty much about it.
Okay, I got a good question. I get this all this time. I don't know where, or maybe I do know where it comes from. Since there's no MLS in Panama, yes, there is an MLS in Panama. There has been one for 5 years at least. In fact, Mike Vitovich, #1 agent, has been #1 on the MLS for several years here in Panama. You'll see all their listings all over the site. Anything you see on the MLS site in Panama, Mike can show you, because they all work together. So I hear people say there's no MLS in Panama. Maybe because it's not listed. It's the weirdest, I'm gonna drop the link. It's called MLSAccobeer.com. Don't know why. But yes, there is a MLS in Panama. It is no longer the wild west in Panama. You hear people tell you, oh, there's net listing, the realtors keeping $50,000 in their pocket. No, it's not 2005 anymore here, guys.
Yeah, Mike explained that. I'm sorry, Rob, this is Mindy. Yeah, Mike explained it later in the chat. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, I haven't got,
Thanks, Mike.
I'm only halfway through the chat, guys, sorry. There we go. Yeah. Okay, there, now I'm caught up. Find car service. Okay, how do you find a? let's talk about medications again, especially for your US people who currently have doctors in the US and are planning to move here. Really consider Amazon Pharmacy and shipping your meds here. This is for non-narcotic meds that I'm talking. It's really easy to do. It costs, you can bring in 5 prescriptions for almost $5 in weight, like, and you can go shopping in Panama. There's no drug control board. Every pharmacy sells everything at a different price. So you got to find your best pharmacy. And basically, if you're looking at a drug, you just got to go pharmacy to pharmacy. You got to bring that. The best thing is to go on to one of the medical medical sites, and even Google Translate will have most of the Spanish translations for most medicines. Bring them in. Don't expect the pharmacist to speak English. I find that kind of weird because all doctors speak English and pharmacists are pretty well doctors, but a lot of them don't. So if you're looking for meds, if you're already here in Panama, just walk into the pharmacies with the printed list of the meds you're looking for. Check, like Boquete has 8 pharmacies. Check and find out who's got the best ones at the best prices. If you're planning a move here and you're taking a lot of meds, get with your doctor, tell them what you're doing, and make sure you can still get prescriptions from him sent to, and then go for your annual checkup in the US. And then you can continue getting your meds shipped to your US address in Florida. And anyone who moves here ends up using the mailbox redirection service like Mailbox, etc. They get an address in Florida where they can have things shipped to that get forwarded here. And you're allowed to ship medicines here, just no more than 90 days supply at a time. Okay, we're gonna start opening it up to questions here in a second. I decide to sell in the future. How difficult if I decide to sell? What if I buy a property in Panama? It's really easy to buy. It's not so easy to sell. Like right now, like we're talking, I don't know, is Mike still with us? Yeah, I'm not sure if he's got a speaker on. Yeah, there he is. Hey, Mike.
I'm here.
Yeah, can
I'm
you
here.
answer this question? What if I buy a property in Panama now and decide I want to sell in the future? How difficult is it to sell if I decide to do so? I assume if they're not here.
Well, like any real estate market, there's ups and downs in the market, but historically, it does take a bit of time to sell a property here. But again, that goes back to the MLS. Prior to the MLS, they didn't get the exposure countrywide or even outside of Panama. Now with the MLS, they are directly marketed outside of Panama as well as inside of Panama, and they get more exposure, so naturally they sell quicker. But yeah, I'm not going to pretend that it's like the United States where you put your property on the market and the next day you get 15 offers for more than you're asking. That's not the market here.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. I didn't know how to answer that. You will find, guys, we have Michaels in every industry in this country. If Oscar and I can't answer the question, we're not going to. We're going to call upon our Michael. We have Michaels in insurance. We have Michaels in law. We have Michaels that can help get you out of jail if you get trouble here. Like, we have those people. And typically, after 10 years, we know most of the answers, but not all of them. Or, don't. We have those connections. Who wants to? I'm tired of looking at my screen. I still have quite a few questions to go, but give me a break, unmute yourself and ask the question, please.
Rod
Hey, Tom.
and Oscar, what do you guys have planned for the February 17th tour? Where do you normally go? You start in Panama City and work your way to Boquete, but where do you stop in between?
No, we're not going to stop for you guys. You guys don't need to see anything. You're moving to Boquete with us, so.
Oh, okay, you're just gonna zoom straight through 7 hours.
Oscar, do you want to? No one knows here. Where did we go? What did we see in our two? Please keep it to 2 minutes, though.
All right, so we start in Panama City. We get to see the city because you cannot leave this. You gotta come to Panama without seeing the basic stuff like the canal, right?
Right.
We do that, then we go places like Coronado, visit Gorgona. We go to Chitre. We go to Pedací. We go to Las Lajas in Chiriquí. we end up in Boquete for the last few nights. So we cover a lot, and most of the area of the country, they probably over 40% of most Panamanians will haven't seen in their life. So we do cover quite a bit.
Okay. I've been there before, and a couple of years ago with a friend of mine, and we did some of it. But you go out on the peninsula to Las Tablas and out in that area?
Well, the furthest we go on the tour is to the Peninsula Azuero, is to
Right.
Pedacito.
Pedicee.
Okay.
Yeah, we are the only tour company that goes to Pedicee. Yeah, it's really cool with the smaller group and smaller vehicle. Oscar will end up driving you down the beach. He's only been arrested once for that. But it's there's pictures of it on Facebook of the whole group on the beach with the van. I'm saying, is the van supposed to be on the beach, Oscar? Oh, well. So having a smaller vehicle, we can get into those unique places. We can pull up on the side of the road and buy something from a guy selling something on the side of the road. We can get to Pedicee, which really only has hotels that have 7 rooms in it. They don't have a lot of space. So that's why we like the small groups and the small vehicle, and so we can get around better and stuff like that. So.
Another thing I wanted just to add is for those that perhaps they want to go to different areas, we also offer our company a private tour. So a private tour can be done between for 2 or 4 or 6 people. They want to be customized exactly for what you want. If you want to see, for instance, the whole point of the Peninsula Azuero, which is Cambutal, or if you want to go to different towns like Santa Fe de Veraguas in the north, there is so much to cover the country. So if you, for some reason, you want just to be on your own schedule, and you want to see more different spots that probably in the tour doesn't suit you, or you already have been there, we can also provide that service customized and private for you guys.
Well, that's what we were planning. We were going to come and do the regular tour. And then next year we were going to come back and do something private and narrow it down to a particular area. And then maybe rent something, before we even move, because
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we do that quite often, Tom. We've done private tours with our guests before. We just finished one, very unique guest. They have an 8-year-old child. And so we're experts in Cherokee. We also do shorter 2-3 day stops in Cherokee province. So we on this tour, not only did we meet with experts in finance and insurance and housing, we met with the board of directors of the private school that they're interested in taking their kids. We have, Oscar has a 9-year-old in private school here. So we have all those connections for people that are looking to really dive into what they think might be their final spot.
Right. Okay, super. Thank you.
Well,
You're very welcome.
all right, next question.
Yeah, this is Peter from Atlanta. I have a question about the pensionado.
Yes. Go ahead, Peter.
Yes. I had a question about the pensionado program.
Yes, go ahead.
So I'm military, retired military. So do I qualify for the pensionado? I was trying to read a little information about that.
Do you receive a government lifelong pension of $1,000 or more?
Yeah, much more than that, but until the rest of my life, correct?
Yeah. Then yes, you qualify for sure. Are you?
How long does it take to get it?
How what?
How long does it take normally for an attorney to do that?
3 to 6 months, and you have to be here at the beginning for a couple weeks, and then you have to return about 4 or 5 months later, or you can stay too.
Okay. So good.
To begin with.
Outstanding.
Are you by any chance U.S. military? What's the word I'm looking for? TRICARE for life?
Yes.
Yeah, if you have TRICARE for life, you're also covered here under healthcare.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, there's TRICARE.
Are there any Veterans Administration hospitals? I'm sorry. Are there any Veteran Administration clinics there?
Yes, there's one in Panama City and one in David that look after TRICARE for life patients.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
Oh,
You're welcome.
okay.
Anything else in the chat?
Oh, yes. Okay. Gringo pricing, learn how to speak Spanish, respect the country you're moving to. Maybe that's it, Tim, because I kind of always do respect people. 1,000 plus 250 per dependent. Okay, people are answering questions here. All the P&D still corrupt, giving them $20 not to give them. You know, when I first moved here, Judah, I could get away with paying a traffic ticket for $5. Doesn't happen very often. How about you, Oscar? Like now, like,
Hey, what kind of ticket?
yeah, like paying off the cop for a ticket. It doesn't really happen much now anymore.
No, not that much, but now it's $10, $10, $11.
What? You got to give $10 now?
The parking ticket, yes, it's $11.
No. I'm talking speeding tickets.
As street tickets, it's $50 right now.
No, I'm talking about corrupt cops on the highway bribing you for money for speeding tickets.
That
10 years
kind.
ago, compared to now.
Well, it depends. I mean, no, they will never encourage anybody to do something like that. Cop might say, hey, so do you want the ticket? You don't want the ticket. And if that's very personal, if you have like a $10 bill, it might go away because the speed ticket is only $50.
Yeah.
So
Question is, 10 years ago, what was it like compared to today?
10 years ago,
Was there more of it happening 10
it
years?
has been the same. Actually, the prices has been the same. So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that, but
I'm gonna answer the question. 10 years ago, when I drove back and forth, I lived in Panama City, I lived in Boquete, I could typically give the cop $5, $10 and he would go away. Nowadays, it just doesn't happen much anymore.
No.
Like they don't ask for bribes. The police are making twice the money than they were 10 years ago. They were making like $600 a month 10 years ago. That extra $5 was bringing food home to their families. It was crazy. And, you know, they really stepped it up and started paying them more decent Panamanian salaries.
No, on that matter, sometimes it doesn't happen because they got reported a lot of the cops, they were doing very badly. They tried to intimidate foreigners or travelers that were got caught on the speed ticket, and they will tell them, oh yeah, it's gonna be $200, whatever. So they get very intimidated. So that doesn't happen. I haven't heard that in years. So the ticket is only $50. If you're just traveling in Panama, they give you a ticket. Well, goes to your driver license. But also, if you're renting a car, you just deal with the rental car, and then they just pay to them, and it's easy peasy. So better stay away from the cop is gonna give you a ticket. They don't give you a ticket. Don't let the cop intimidate you.
All right, so yes, our tours are totally private, customizable. Here's the difference between, like, other companies do private tours. Our tours are done exclusively by Oscar, Megan, and me. We do not hire guides. A tour guide, we did tour guiding 6-7 years ago. That's a totally different business. You are getting the relocation experts on your tour, and that's why we don't book a lot of them, because we just don't have the time. Especially the full week one, we do one per month. The smaller Cherokee ones, we could do 2-3 a month. If you want your private tours, get over to retireinpanamatours.com, click on the private tour link, ask your questions, we can get your prices out. But you will get, and the biggest difference, like they're very customized, they're all inclusive, and at the end of the tour, you have 3 cell phone numbers, Oscar, mine, and Megan's, to move forward in your plan to move or not to move to Panama. So that's why our tours are much different. So, okay, what can you tell me about Porto Amulas, Oscar, in the terms of rentals, lifestyles? How does it compare to Pedicee? Porto Amulas, Pedicee.
Puerto Muelles, Pedasí is well, they're both on the coast, but Pedasí is a town that is more boutique, that has a different sense of community. Puerto Muelles has been going through hard times since Chiquita Banana was led back in, I think, if I'm not wrong, the 70s. So Puerto Muelles is a place that has right now potential, that is very affordable places to buy or to rent, but it's not, doesn't provide the same feeling that Pedasí has. Also, it's way far away from some like an airport. Well, actually, no, Puerto Muelles only from David would be like 2 hours and a half. So you're still on the clear. But Puerto Muelles is still kind of like on the transformation, or kind of like getting back again what I used to be. There has been built a new hospital. There is a new stadium. So there has been some going on, and they finished a brand new 4-lane road connecting to the town. But the two of them are totally different vibes by far. Puerto Muelles is also a place, the one thing they both share is a great for fishing, because both areas, both the parts of the ocean, are very deep fishing. So you don't have to go all the way out offshore to find deep fishing. So that's one of the things that both locations share. But the town of Pedasí has a lot of more feeling of safetyness, and it is more, there is more influence from expats. Puerto Muelles is not so much. There is some expats there, but it's not as common like Pedasí. And the Puerto Muelles people and Pedasí people, like locals, are slightly the way the culture is a little bit different. But both places are great. I mean, me in the my personal opinion, I love more Pedasí, but that doesn't mean I don't think Puerto Muelles is gonna be an amazing place. I think there is a lot of beautiful things going on. So I'm just waiting with excitement to see what's gonna be the transformation of Puerto Muelles.
Okay, thank you, Oscar. Hey, for you guys reading the chat, just kind of ignore everything Tim Burr has to say, because I think you can tell he's not the expert. And and he's decided to leave us. Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh,
Sorry, what?
Tim Burr left us. Oh, no, we just have a guest telling us that, oh, if you get a house through MLS, you'll pay 200% more, as opposed to if you get your half a brain, you can buy it for 25% of that. So,
Okay.
don't worry, Tim left us. So that's where you know, like, yeah. Thank you, Vicky. Tim, why are you here? Okay. Greg Smith. Hey, Greg, how are you? I can see you're busy. What's to do? Organized shippers. Ooh. Greg is coming from New Zealand. I think he's in Panama now. Are you in New Zealand right now, Greg? Speak up, please. Good friend. Okay.
No, read the next message. I screwed up. I'm in New Zealand. You're in Panama. That's the next message.
Oh, okay. I couldn't figure out. When are you coming? Jeez.
Probably May, June. I've got a lot of stuff to sort out.
Perfect. Connect with me before you start. Can help you out. Okay, Oscar, Jim Coomer is asking, since you lived in Costa Rica, you lived here. I know it's 10 years ago, but what did you find the biggest differences in the two countries?
One of the biggest differences, it will be infrastructure. Panama has more developed infrastructure than Costa Rica, especially on the highways. Cost of living, Panama is still less expensive than Costa Rica. I remember, I mean, it is right now. Costa Rica life expenses is a lot higher than Panama. You can buy, like, let's go to a regular restaurant, it's still higher, like almost twice what it will cost here in Panama. The difference, the other beautiful difference between Costa Rica and Panama is Costa Rica is, because it's less developed in infrastructure, it has been a country that will be more offering luxury ecotourism. What does that mean? It means that you go to any place, you see monkeys, you see sloths. So that's what Costa Rica has been their efforts promoting their country for ecotourism. Panama, will have, of course, beautiful wildlife, but it's not as visible like Costa Rica. So that's one of the main differences between two countries. The Costa Rican people and Panamanian people, they're very different. Costa Rican has more the Hispanic influence. Panamanians will still have a lot of mix from indigenous, African, from everywhere. So it's very noticeable the difference between Panamanians and Costa Ricans. I personally, when I first came to Panama after living in Costa Rica, for some reason I got to Boquete. I went to the restaurant and I don't know, I just felt like home. I was like, whoa, this tastes like home. So that's just my experience. But that's some of the main difference between the two countries. Costa Rica is more about the tourism. They're trying to get into the promoting for people that wanna retire in Costa Rica, but it's just starting. So the infrastructure for expats is not there like it is already ahead in Panama with the programs, the visas, and also the amenities that this country can offer, plus the cost of living.
Okay, perfect. Oscar, we need 30-second answers from now on. We're gonna run out of time.
How can it happen?
I have a direct message. I'm going to answer here. When you get your permanent residency in Panama, you don't have to live here, but you have to be here once every 2 years for no particular amount of time. You can arrive, get your passport stamped, and leave. Now, if you've been gone longer than that because of the pandemic, and you want to make sure that your residency has not expired, you need to do that through a lawyer. That's the only way. If you don't have your original lawyer handy, please get a hold of us. We can find one for you, because during COVID, when the country was shut down, they put an extension, but that extension's over. So if you're 3 years now, I think they have a fine system you now have to go through. So please reach out to us, info@retireinpanamatours.com. If you don't have your existing lawyer, if they can't help you. Good question, Tammy. How do your services differ from the competitor, who we know what their name is? I think we have really stated that. Number one, smaller groups. We don't do big buses. The big buses can't go everywhere we go. And we want to show you Panama. We don't stay in North American hotels attached to shopping centers. We stay in Panamanian boutique hotels. You're going to meet more Panamanian people on our tour. Our hosts, your guests, Oscar and Megan, are both fluent in Spanish. Oscar's Latino, obviously he is. So you're not just, we all live here. The people who answer the phones live here. The people who coordinate the tour live here and have for many, many years. I think that is the biggest difference. The other company has been around for years, and we're never going to publicly ditch them. They've provided great value to people for many years. And if you go with them, you're going to get the information you need to move to Panama. You'll just have more fun coming with us. What do you think, Oscar?
Well, coming with us is not just a tour, it's an experience.
Yeah.
But also, like, for us is we're not gonna sell you the country. We're gonna show you the country, not sugarcoating all the best and all the pluses and the minuses, because you need to know all the information.
Yeah.
And we will try to show you as much as possible the culture of Panama for you to understand. Because what happens is, me personally being Colombian, but being here for so many years, like I have built so many relationships with Panamanians. Then I don't know if other company has it, but we do have, and I have, and I've been working on these relationships, because here in Panama, a lot of times it's about relationships, and that's something that we show during the tour. Like and also like the experience, like for instance, we stop by sometimes on the way in the middle of the road going to Pedasi, and we go to a family. They have a small artisanal trapiche. Trapiche is what you process the sugarcane. So we stop there. We get to try to drink some fresh sugarcane juice. Get to talk with the owners of the little farm, and we have this cultural experience. Also, that's what defines us, and that's why we are different.
Yeah. So like I say, being smaller, when it's your time to move here, we don't do 700 people a year. We do maybe 100. And if 40 of you decide to move here, we're going to be here to help. Once you move here, we're going to be on your deck, drinking your beer, having a barbecue with you. That's just the way it is, because that's the way it's going, and that's whether you invite us or not, we show up. So that is the difference here. So any of you guys want to book one of those free up to $75 value COVID cancellation insurance? We got 5 spots left in the first half of this year. So go ahead. I put the link in the chat. I think I did not put the link in the chat. So Oscar, I think I is 90-day maximum 180 days. It says tourist visa 180 days. Oscar, you got noise on there. Tourist visa is 180 days for USA and Canada. It's 90 for most other countries. It's 30 for some. Now you can see all this information on visitpanama.com. Where for some, like I think there's some Asian countries, some African countries that it's only 30 days, but the majority of countries are 30, and US and Canada, we're special. It's 180-day tourist visa. So that's how long you can stay before you have to leave for 30 days. Okay. Oscar, any last minute things before Zoom decides it's time for us to?
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you guys that attend this call. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your trust for those that are already coming with us. They have come with us. And I wish you a beautiful evening, and to hope to see you in the next Q&A or here in Panama in our event. Having a great time. So
I have a
get those
question for
spots.
Oscar.
Yes.
I need your email address. I have a couple of private questions I want to send you.
Sure. Rob, can you type my email?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
Oscar at retireinpanamatours.com. Instead of info, put Oscar.
Oscar at Retire in Panama Tours.
Yeah, .com. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Perfect. Tom.
Hey,
And his
hey,
lovely wife
Oscar.
are working with us.
Hi, Rod.
Hi.
Ooh.
Hi, Hi, Oscar. This is Francis. How are you?
Oh, hey, Francis. How are you?
Hey, Francis.
Hey, Tito too.
Ooh.
What?
I just wanted to say we had logged in, and I'm glad you guys are still. For you guys, I don't know, we went on their tour. Gosh, was it 2020? The end of 2020?
Yeah.
And it really is a good tour because of the fact that it's small, it's very intimate, and you learn a lot, you see a lot, and you experience the culture. It's not like, okay, well, let's go shopping. It's not that kind of stuff. It's this is how people live, and is this what you want to do? So all I can say is, if you sign up for this, you will definitely enjoy it, and you will learn. And their services are there for you after you leave, because we've utilized them. So,
Thank you so much for such a sweet words, Francis. We love you.
Francis.
love you,
And,
guys.
yeah, and
Yeah, you
$20 is on your way. No, I'm kidding.
All right.
So those are the friendships we love to meet, guys. Like 2 years ago on our tour, they now moved here. They live in a lovely place in Coronado. So, okay, all right, Oscar. I have a 30-second countdown on my screen. That just because I'm administrator, I can see that. Zoom is going to cut us off here, guys. So again, it was wonderful, all you guys here. Any information you need, info at retireinpanamatours.com. I put the website, or you can just fill out the form or the contact on the website. We'll answer your questions, even if you're not coming on our tour. Yes, we answer your questions, whatever you got. We'll connect you to who you got to connect. And if you want to come on the tour, please do. We'd love to have you. Okay, Oscar, it was good seeing you. Oscar and Megan start a group of 12 on Thursday. So
Yep.
in Panama City. That's why normally we're all sitting side by side here. But
Yeah.
scheduling was a little different this week. Okay, guys, good
Good
night.
night, everybody.
Unmute.
Stay well. Stay
Thank
safe.
you.
As soon as it ends, it'll end.
Thank you.
And most important, stay happy.
Be happy.